Today, we'll be going over both the Auto Attendants tab and the Call Queues tab. I'll do my best to be as detailed as possible on these training videos. To start, I'd like to go on the Auto Attendants tab I have here in the web portal. When I click the Auto Attendants tab, I have the ability to edit any existing auto attendants. I can also go ahead and create a brand new auto attendant. When I hit this blue button to actually create an auto attendant, it's going to require me to add a name, and it's also going to require me to add an extension field. Once I've selected my name, and I've already selected an extension number that does not already exist in my account, I would be creating a new extension number. I'll have to select the time frame for my auto attendant. For all new auto attendants that are created, you want to make sure that you're selecting the default, all the time frame. What this is going to do is going to ensure that the auto attendant is always active, and you're never going to have a time where the auto attendant is not working. You can later go in and select the time frame for when you want the auto attendant to kick in, but for the purposes of creating an auto attendant, you want to be sure that the time frame selected is default all the time. For the purposes of this video, I've created a test auto attendant with extension 7575. So if I clicked on the name, it'll automatically take me to the auto attendant where I can go ahead and make changes, add a recording, and manage my auto attendant. Once I'm ready to record my audio greeting for my auto attendant, which is going to prompt my customers on which options to select and where the calls will be routed to, I will click here on the left-hand side where it says Menu Prompt. Click to add your menu prompt, or I click on my speaker button right next to it, and a Manage Audio pop-up box is going to pop up in the description. I'll put a brief description on what this audio is about, so I could put something like daytime greeting, or night mode, or whatever it is that I want to remind myself of what the audio is. Once I've selected my description, I'll do a night mode and I'm ready to upload my greeting. I can either upload a WAV or MP3 file to my auto attendant through my computer by browsing through the computer files. Or I can have the system actually give me a call to my extension so that I can record my greeting live. If I select record, it's going to call me because I'm logged into extension 2209. It will actually call me at extension 2209. If I want the call to go to my coworker, I can also dial to 2210 or 2211 and it'll call them. I'm working from home and don't have access to a phone. I can also put in my cell phone number. So if I do this, I type a cell phone number and I hit call. It will automatically call my cell phone and a recording will come out and say, "Please begin your recording." After the beep, when finished, hang up and press the pound key. And once I'm done actually sending myself that call and recording my greeting, I will actually be able to hit done right there on the bottom right. And it will automatically upload my audio file to the auto attendant. Once my audio file is uploaded and I'm satisfied with the recording and how it came out, I can then begin to manage my dial pad menu. In my dial pad menu, I'll be able to essentially select where the calls will be routed. So if I tell someone to press 2 to go to Eric, I would click on the number 2 because I want the call to go to one simple user. I will click on user. I can either type in my name or my extension number so I can see here that 6389, Eric Nunez, is if I want to go to that person. Or I can just type 6389 and it'll take me to my extension. I have the ability to enable an enhanced voicemail. If the calls go to my extension and I don't answer the enhanced voicemail as opposed to a regular voicemail, it allows the caller to dial an option and reroute their call somewhere else prior to leaving me a message. And an example of an enhanced voicemail would say, press star to dial another extension, or simply remain on the line to leave a voicemail. So that can be enabled by the person configuring the auto attendant, depending on whether or not they want to enable the enhanced voicemail. A caller ID prefix is essentially what the person receiving the call is going to see before the caller ID. So if I say something like, press 2 for Spanish, and I want the call to go to Eric, but I need him to know that it's going to be a Spanish call, I can do a prefix like SPA. And then what happens is before any call that comes in to option 2 that rings to Eric, the caller ID prefix will show SPA and then underscore in front of the person's caller ID. So I know when it comes time to answer that call, I have to answer the call in Spanish to be sure that the call is being answered correctly, depending on the selection of the caller. To show you different options of what our auto attendants can do, any one of these options have the same capabilities. So if I wanted to select a different option for option number 3, my possibilities are as follows. I can send the call to a specific user. I can connect the caller with a conference. If I have a dedicated conference, I can press this and it will be directed to that conference bridge. I can make the call ring to a call queue, which would be a group of users, and I can also hit the company directory. If I select the company directory, there's nothing that needs to be configured. It will automatically use the company. It will use all of the user's first and last name, and it will allow you to search using the first 3 letters of the person's last name, if I choose the company directory. I also have the ability of sending the call directly to a voicemail. So if I select voicemail and I type Eric, let's do 6389, it will actually go to the voicemail of extension 6389, allowing me to select it if I want an enhanced voicemail or just a regular voicemail hit my inbox. Voice management is essentially for internal users, so if I were to call and I were to hit option 5 that goes to a voicemail management, I would be able to enter my extension number followed by my password, and I'll be able to check my voicemail messages if I'm not in my office, or if I'm on vacation, or if I simply don't have access to a phone. Any number option would allow me to send the call to an external number. An external number would be good if I wanted to send the call to a cell phone number, or maybe to an answering service, or just anywhere that is not an internal extension for the company. I can also play a message, so if I wanted to say something like, "To hear hours of operation, please press 6, and I can also make it so that if they press number 6, I can record another greeting where I can do it the same way that I created my menu prompt by uploading or recording my own personal greeting, using a description code so that I can remind myself what this meeting is about, and then once I have everything saved and I upload my recording, it'll automatically upload into this field, and I'll have the option of selecting what is going to happen once the message is played. Maybe it will repeat the greeting prompt and take me back over to the main menu. It can follow another option so that after I hear my hours of operation, maybe I want the call to go back to my company directory. Then I would make it go to the following option. Let's say number 3, which option number 3 can be my company directory. I can also repeat the greeting prompt. So if somebody presses this option, and this option is selected, it will actually repeat the greeting prompt and take me back into the main menu. If I needed to add another tier for, let's say, different language, if I say, "If you'd like to hear this message in Spanish, please press number 8, I would select Add a tier, and this will allow me to have a second tier to my auto attendant, allowing me to create another recording, so I can put Spanish upload or record another greeting, and then I can have different options or mimic the same options I had in English, but in a different language, so that I can essentially create option number 1 to go to a queue, option number 2 goes to a user, option number 3 to go to my directory, and so on. If you need to edit or remove any options, let's say I no longer want option 3 to go to my company directory. I just have to click on that dial pad menu and hit remove and save, and that option number 3 is no longer in the company directory. There are additional settings that can be configured to an auto attendant. For example, if I click on options, it will actually allow me to enable dial by extension or disable dial by extension by the check of a box. I can also configure that if no key is pressed, I would like it to follow option number 8 and go to the Spanish tier, where I can make it hang up, repeat the greeting prompt, or follow any other configured option. Same thing if an unassigned key is pressed. So if the auto attendant and you only have options number 0 configured, but somebody dials option 1, which is not a valid option, you can make them hang up or follow any other option that has been configured on the auto attendant. That's all for the auto attendant tab. Thanks for watching.